Hello students, in the present lecture we are going to discuss taxation of company. There are three chapters for our explanation purpose. First chapter is over Introduction to Income Tax. Another chapter is over Introduction to Goods and Services Tax. And presently I am starting new chapter called as Taxation of Company. We know that company is one of the forms of business organization. In relation to taxation, we are going to study what is the meaning of company in relation to taxation, what are the types of companies, and what are the deductions available to company, and how to compute taxable income of a company. Firstly, we are concerned with definitions. Company definition. According to section 2 clause 17, company means any Indian company or any body corporate incorporated by or under the laws of a country outside India, or any institution, association or body which is or was accessible or was assessed as a company for the assessment year under the Income Tax Act for any assessment year commencing on or before 1st April 1970, or any institution, association or body, whether incorporated or not, whether Indian or non-Indian, which is declared by CBDT as a company. Here, a definition of the company is given by four ways. Company means any Indian company. Company means any corporate body incorporated outside India, that is foreign company. Company means any institution or association body which was assessed for the assessment year under Income Tax Act on or before 1st April 1970. Any institution or association or body, whether incorporated or not, whether Indian or non-Indian, which is declared by CBDT as a company. This is a definition of company. Now we are looking what is the definition of Indian company. Indian company means a company formed and registered the Indian Companies Act or any law relating to companies which was or is in force in any part of India, or a corporation established by or under a central, state or provincial act, or an institution or association or body which is declared by CBDT to be company. But it is necessary to remember that the registered office, that is head office of company, must be situated in India. In relation to Indian company, we are considering four aspects. Indian company means any Indian which is company which Indian company means the company which is established under Indian Companies Act, first, or second, any law relating to companies which was or is in force in any part of India, or any corporation established by central, state or provincial act, that is called as company, or any institution or association or body which is declared by CBDT to be a company. So firstly, we discussed what is meant by company. We considered four aspects. Here we discussed Indian company, considered four aspects. Now we are going to discuss domestic company. Domestic company, it means an Indian company or any other company which, in respect of its income, liable to income tax under the Income Tax Act, has made the prescribed arrangement for the declaration and payment within India of the dividends payable out of such income. Here, domestic company means any company which is accessible in India as per the Income Tax Act, and that company should make proper arrangement for declaration and payment of dividend within India. In other words, domestic company means all Indian companies. It means that all Indian companies are domestic companies. A foreign company which has made the prescribed arrangement for declaration and payment of dividends out of taxable income in India within India is a domestic company. Here, Indian company, domestic company means all Indian companies are domestic companies. A foreign company which has made arrangement for declaration and payment of dividend out of taxable income in India and within India is a domestic company. Under Rule 27 of the income tax rules, the prescribed arrangements are as follows. This is applicable especially to foreign companies. Prescribed arrangements means what? The share register of the company for all shareholders shall be maintained regularly as its principal place of business within India. It means that a foreign company which is working in India should have to maintain shareholders register in principal place of the business within India in respect of any assessment year from a date not later than the first day of April of the relevant assessment year. The general meeting for passing the accounts of accounting year relevant to the assessment year and for declaration of any dividends in respect thereof shall be held only at a place within India. So general meeting for passing accounts of the accounting year relevant to assessment year should be held within India. The dividends declared, if any, shall be payable only within India to all shareholders. That company should have to pay dividend in India. Another definition. Firstly, we see definition of company. Then we see domestic company, Indian companies. Then we see definition of Indian domestic companies, Indian companies. Now, company in which the public are substantially interested. That is, public are substantially interested company. In the following cases, a company is said to be a company in which the public are substantially interested. It means public interest is considered in that type of companies. It is a company owned by the government or the Reserve Bank of India, or in which not less than 40% shares are held by government or the Reserve Bank of India. A company is to be said in which public are substantially interested. That is first criteria, that company owned by the government of India or Reserve Bank of India, or not less than 40% of such company are held by government of India or Reserve Bank of India. It is a company which is registered under Section 8 of the Companies Act 2013, or it is a company having no share capital and it is declared by the order of CBDT to be a company in which the public are substantially interested. A company having no share capital but declared as company for public interest by CBDT is called as company in which the public are substantially interested. It is a mutual benefit finance company, that is a company which carries on as its principal business the business of acceptance of deposits from its members, and which is declared by central government to be a Nidhi or mutual benefit society. The company which is concerned with the acceptance of deposits from its members and which is declared by the central government to be Nidhi or a mutual benefit society, that is termed as a company in which public substantially interested. It is a company wherein shares carrying not less than 50% of the voting power are held by one or more cooperative societies throughout the relevant previous year. A company where shares carrying not less than 50% of the voting power are held by one or more cooperative society, that is called as a company in which public are substantially interested. It is a company in which not a private company under the Companies Act 2013 and its equity shares were, as on the last date of the relevant previous year, listed in a registered stock exchange in India. A company which is not private company, but the shares of that company were registered to recognized stock exchange in India, that is termed as a company in which public are substantially interested. It is a company which is not private company and whose equity shares carrying not less than 50% of the voting power and 40% in case of industrial company were beneficially held throughout the previous year by the government. A statutory corporation or any other company in which the public are substantially interested, or a wholly owned subsidiary or such a company. So we discussed the definition of company: Indian company, domestic company, a company in which public are substantially interested. Note for a company in which public are substantially interested. Note for that. If the majority of the equity shares of a public company held by a foreign company in which the public are substantially interested, such a company would be company in which the public are substantially interested. Foreign company should also consider here. Then widely held company. Widely held company, this is the popular name of the company in which the public are substantially interested. In a company in which public are substantially interested is also termed as widely held company. On the other hand, closely held company. Closely held company is the popular name of company in which the public are not substantially interested. Here we discussed two terms. One is widely held company. Widely held company is that company in which public are substantially interested. Vice versa. Closely held company means that company in which the public are not substantially interested. Another part, that is substantial interest. Substantial interest. A person shall be deemed to have substantial interest in a concern other than a company if he is at any time during the previous year beneficially entitled to not less than 20% of the income of such concern. A person shall be deemed to have substantial interest in a company if he is the beneficial owner of shares, not being shares entitled to a fixed rate of dividend, whether with or without a right to participate in profits carrying not less than 20% of the voting power. An individual is deemed to have substantial interest if he, along with his relatives, beneficially owns equity shares carrying at least 20% voting power. In case of a company, or if the concern is not a company, he, along with his relatives, is entitled at least 20% of the profits of the concern at any time during the previous year. That is termed as substantial interest. Up to we discussed definition of company, definition of Indian company, definition of domestic company, a company in which public are substantially interested. Then we discussed what is meant by substantial interest. Now we are discussing public sector company. Section 2, clause 36A. It means any corporation established by or under any central or state act. Any corporation established in India by the act passed by central or state. For example, Life Insurance Corporation. It is a public sector company at central level. That act was passed by the government of India. In case of Maharashtra state, MSRST, Maharashtra State Road Transport Corporation, that is MSRTC, that is public sector company under state act, or a government as defined in section 2 of the Companies Act 2013. So public sector company means any corporation established in India by or under any central or state act. At the central level, various acts are passed. At particular state level, various acts are passed. Now we are going to discuss foreign company. A foreign company is a company in which is neither an Indian company nor has made the prescribed arrangement for declaration and payment of dividends within India. This is the definition of foreign company. Foreign company means company which is not Indian company and that company has not made arrangement for declaration and payment of dividend within India. That is termed as foreign company. In this chapter, we are focusing company forms of business organization. We discussed various definition as company, Indian company, domestic company, a company in which public are substantially interested, then public sector company, foreign company. Residence of companies. The scope of total income of an assessee is determined on the basis of his residential status in India during the previous year. So, this is the scope of residence. For the purpose of companies, the residence has been classified into three categories, namely, first category is resident, second category is not ordinary resident, and third category is non-resident. So, in case of companies, what is meant by resident? For the purpose of determination of residential status and tax liability of a company, we are necessary to study residential status of companies. First, resident. A company is said to be resident in India in any previous year if it is an Indian company or its place of effective management in that year is in India. For a company is said to be resident, two criteria are very important. One is it is an Indian company or its place of effective management in that year is in India. Note for it. Place of effective management means a place where key management and commercial decisions that are necessary for the conduct of the business of an entity as a whole are in substance made. So it is the meaning of place of effective management. So again I am explaining what is meant by place of effective management. Place of effective management means a place where key management and commercial decisions that are necessary for the conduct of business of an entity as a whole are in substance made. Second part, that is not ordinarily resident. A company is never not ordinarily resident. That is very important. A company is never not ordinary resident. Third category, non-resident. If a company does not satisfy any of the aforesaid conditions of residence, is said to be non-resident company. So residence of company is discussed by three ways. Resident, for that purpose a company is said to be resident in India when it is an Indian company and its place of effective management in that year is in India. Not ordinary resident, a company is never not ordinary resident. Non-resident means what? If a company does not satisfy any of the above mentioned conditions of residence, it is said to be a non-resident company. So in this way we started taxation of company. For that purpose we learned definitions of company, Indian company, domestic company, a company in which public are substantially interested, then public limited company and foreign company. In addition, we discussed substantial interest and also we focused residence or resident status of companies. For that purpose, three criteria we have taken into account, namely resident, not ordinary resident, and non-resident. So, in this lecture, I covered these aspects. Another one more lecture will be conducted in which we are going to discuss types of companies. Then our syllabus will finish. It means that we will close our syllabus after 2 lectures and I will conduct awareness program about MCQ exam, online exam on Sunday by conducting Zoom meeting, that is awareness program about online MCQ examination which will be held from 27th September. So students are requested kindly attend awareness program on coming Sunday. In this way, I am concluding my speech here. Thank you.